50 states, 50 cryptids. This isn't just a list. This is a journey through the darkest legends in America. What's up YouTube, Gemini Jonny back again with part 2 of my 5-part series on the most terrifying cryptid from every state. If you missed part 1, I'll link it at the end of this video. You know the drill, you can watch it when you're done with this. You don't really have to watch them in order, we're picking at random. Speaking of which, bring me that wheel. See what we got up first today. Boop boop ba doop boop ba doop boop ba doop. Wisconsin. Alright, T-Pain. The Wisconsin Wolfman, also known as the Beast of Bray Rhode. So, whatever you want to call him. I just thought this headline was funny. Ugh! Disgusted eyewitnesses watch him eat bloody roadkill. Which that is pretty gross, but putting ugh in a headline is hilarious to me for some reason. They did make a movie about the Beast of Bray Rhode, but as you might be able to ascertain via the movie poster, doesn't look like it's very good. It's very bad ratings, and I'm personally not gonna waste my time watching it. So, sorry to the directors of that movie. If anybody has seen it, let me know what you thought. I'm actually kind of curious. And actually, I may end up watching it just to see if it's really that bad. Any hoosers, they were nice enough to circle him here, just in case you didn't see the giant shadow Wolfman. The Beast of Bray Rhode. The Beast of Bray Rhode is a werewolf-like creature spotted near Elkhorn, Wisconsin. It stands on 2 legs, has shaggy fur, and glowing eyes, resembling a mix between a wolf and a man. The beast is incredibly strong, fast, and seems to have heightened senses, making it a formidable predator. That thing was huge. Its only weaknesses are that it's shy and it tends to avoid human contact unless cornered or threatened. If you come across the Beast of Bray Rhode, back away slowly and do not make eye contact. It's best to leave alone, as provoking it could lead to danger. So the Beast of Bray Rhode story does go back to 1936 was the alleged first sighting on the grounds of St. Coletta's School for Exceptional Children in Jefferson. There were also several alleged witnesses in the 80s, one with a vehicle leaving long scratch marks on the doors and trunks of vehicles. Animal mutilations have been reported all throughout the area, and as recently as 2018 and 2020, alleged witnesses reported observing a large hair-covered upright creature, both in Walworth County. That's horrifying, and I don't know what I would do. I guess I would do what I said earlier and back away slowly and try to avoid eye contact. Ugh, that's horrifying. What you got for me, TikTok?
In the quiet town of Elkhorn, Wisconsin, a chilling creature known as the Beast of Bray Rhode has haunted the locals for decades. The first documented sighting occurred in the late 1980s, when a young woman named Linda Godfrey saw a large, wolf-like creature standing on its hind legs along Bray Road. It had glowing yellow eyes and was covered in dark fur. Terrified, Linda sped away, but the image of the beast remained etched in her mind. Little did she know, this was only the beginning of the terrifying encounters. Over the years, numerous residents reported similar sightings. People described the creature as having a muscular build, standing between 6 to 7 feet tall,
Bro is jacked.
and moving with an unsettling agility. These sightings were often accompanied by strange claw marks on vehicles and eerie howls echoing through the night. One night, a local farmer claimed to see the beast feasting on roadkill, its eyes glowing ominously in the dark. These consistent and eerie reports spread fear throughout the community, turning Bray Rhode into a place of legend and caution. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, like and follow for more.
They really ought to put their actual name on their little end cap, the end screen there. That was everyday.video, everyday.vid.eio. Yeah, if you like their videos, you can go check them out. Everyday.vid.eio. Video. Yeah. But not an obnoxious AI, so I thought we'd go with that one because it was a pretty good little video. We got some people that actually went to Bray Rhode, so this might be kind of cool. This was in 2024. They posted it in August. I'm guessing it was probably this summer sometime. And ooh, a sighting. I was gonna say we're probably not gonna see anything, but we just saw him. Yeah, it looks like just any old countryside. I mean, ow. I'm sure it's a lot creepier at night. I just hit my funny bone if you're wondering why I said ow. Well, that's cool. At least we got to see what it's like. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you've been throughout the countryside in America, it looks like any old countryside. But I'm sure it's really creepy at night because it's probably super dark out there. There's a first-hand encounter.
I told my mom I thought I saw a werewolf, and my mom believed me.
It was walking along a good probably 7 to 10 seconds before it had turned its head.
That thing, that was no dog. That was too big to be a dog. That thing was bigger than me.
That thing was stalking cornfields, jumping on cars, and feasting on roadkill. For 2 years, people in Elkhorn, Wisconsin whispered about a king-sized creature who roamed Bray Road.
Part 2.
Oh, it's another one from this guy. I
The
didn't realize
Beast
that.
of Bray Road.
Oh, it's his part 2.
The
Oh,
final
cool.
showdown. The fear and fascination with the Beast of Bray Road continued into the 1990s. One night, a local farmer named Mark Shackleman had a spine-chilling encounter. While investigating an ancient burial mound, he came face to face with the beast. The creature, standing nearly 7 feet tall and covered in dark hair, emitted a foul odor and a terrifying growl. Shackleman prayed for his life, and miraculously, the beast slowly walked away. In 1999, an 18-year-old girl named Doris Gibson had another harrowing experience. While driving down Bray Road, she saw the beast once again, this time in broad daylight.
That was huge.
The creature ran at her car, and although it managed to leap onto her trunk, it slid off, leaving deep claw marks as evidence. Doris sped away, terrified but unharmed. Remarkably, sightings didn't end there. In 2018, a Menominee Falls resident claimed to have captured the beast on film, reigniting the legend of the Bray Road beast.
Its arms look like bones.
Back on Bray Road, Lori Andreezy remembers her close encounter with the creature in 1990.
And I saw it kneeling on the side of the road, and it was eating something. And I came up from behind it, and I slowed down because I thought it was a person at first. So I came up from behind it, and I realized it wasn't a person when I saw its pointy ears.
From those descriptions, Linda drew up this composite picture of the beast. All agreed it was very big, with pointy ears and broad-chested with a shaggy coat streaked with silver, gray, or black.
It had brought its right hand up, stopped, looked over by the car, real nonchalant, and made eye contact with both Scott and I, and gave like this sneer, like it was challenging us. Like, you know, what are you going to do about it? You know, I'm here, you're there. I'm bigger than you are. You can't do anything about it.
But with all the sightings, no one knew if it was man, beast, or even a combination of the two. One person simply called it God's mistake.
I would assume that what they saw was some sort of an animal, probably dog-like in nature, either a loose dog or a coyote.
I just said, it's a big animal, and it's upset. It's really upset.
If werewolves do exist, this is probably a werewolf.
What do you think this creature could be?
Crazy. Once again, shout out to Everyday Video, AO, or whatever. I'm gonna follow them. This is the second one in a row. I'll follow them right now. Shout out Everyday Video, or whatever. Anyway, it is pretty horrifying. Like, if that thing jumped on my car, dude, I don't know what I would do. The one thing that I can't help but think is, like, if these things are real, like any of these, this is the one that made me think of it, but any of these cryptids, if they are real, they're like another animal on this planet, right? And they're just doing their animal thing. Like, if we discovered tigers right now and we're like, these things, like, we'd never seen them before, we would think they were some kind of ferocious cryptid, like cat-like cryptid or something. But my point is, if these things are out there, they're just doing their, like, instinctual thing and trying to eat and survive. I want to learn about them, but let's not harm them, okay? They're just doing their thing. If there's a werewolf out there, he's just doing what werewolves are supposed to do. There's a Nessie out there in every lake. It's just swimming around and doing what it's supposed to do. And if it feels attacked, it's probably gonna attack you back. Bring out the wheel. What you got next for me, wheelie boy? Kansas. Oh, I know Kansas. I used to live in Kansas. In Kansas, we have a monster straight out of an 80s B-level horror flick. Sinkhole Sam. Gonna be the star of the next Villanueva movie. Star of Dune 3, Sinkhole Sam. Sinkhole Sam is a large eel-like creature reported to live in the sinkholes and small lakes of Kansas. Described as being several feet long, it has a serpentine body and sharp teeth. It's a giant snake, or eel. Its strengths are that it's a fast swimmer and it can hide easily in muddy, murky water, but its weaknesses are that it doesn't appear to be aggressive towards humans, preferring to stay hidden, as with most of these, as we're coming to find out, right? And then this one's fun, because what the hell is that guy doing? Oh shit, it's Sinkhole Sam! What's he doing? Is he trying to surprise it? I don't know. Anyway, now let's check the handy dandy TikTok.
Sinkhole Sam, a monstrous entity lurking in the watery abysses of rural Kansas, has been reported to drag the unsuspecting beneath the Earth's surface. Described as a serpentine beast with gleaming, dark eyes, it preys silently, leaving no trace of its victims. We urge avoidance of known sinkhole areas. This has been a public announcement from Cryptid Affairs.
That's kind of cool. I think they do like, they're Cryptid_affairs. They do cryptid analog horror, but yeah, I don't know, the style of it is kind of cool. It's a little bit different.
Want to hear a story? This story is going to take us to Inman, Kansas, and the legend of Sinkhole Sam. Prior to the 1920s, Kansas was actually dotted with a string of freshwater lakes, though today only 2 of them are left, one of them being Lake Inman, along with a few other smaller bodies of water, referred to as sinkholes, the largest being called Big Sinkhole. What a creative name. But Big Sinkhole is usually just referred to as
Kansas.
the sinkhole. It's believed that the sinkhole is connected to the lake by a series of flooded underground caves, or an underground river system. But inside the sinkhole lives a legend. Sinkhole Sam. Sam is a monstrous worm-like or serpent-like creature who was first spotted, or at least reported, in 1952. It was first sighted by 2 men that were fishing, who claimed to see it rise up from the water and swim around their boat. They said it was about 12 feet long and had a large flat head, and they said this creature hissed at them and then splashed them with water before diving back underneath. After this was reported, other people came forward with their stories about Sinkhole Sam. 2 farmers that lived nearby claimed to have seen it several times. They described it as 15 feet long and as wide as an automobile tire. They also said it had sharp teeth and a pointy tail. And one of the farmers, named Albert Newfield, said he shot at Sinkhole Sam and that it just disappeared under the water. The most famous sighting of Sinkhole Sam happened on November 23rd of 1952, when it was spotted out of the water by a group of hunters. They said they saw it lying by the shore and half hidden in some weeds. And they walked up thinking the creature was dead, until it rose up and quickly slithered back to the water. Scared the bejesus out of the men. And they estimated it to be even larger than the 15 feet. They said it was at least 20 feet long and that it had no eyes, just a large mouth. At this point, people started to claim that Sinkhole Sam was a Foopengurkle. I have never heard the word Foopengurkle before. And today it's kind of used like a name, like another name for Sinkhole Sam. But when reading the old papers, they make it sound like Foopengurkle is a species of some lost prehistoric creature. Well, all this talk of Foopengurkles and water monsters brought swarms of people to the sinkhole waiting to see Sam. But apparently Sam had had enough human interaction for a while, because no other sightings were reported until the 1960s. This time not at the sinkhole or at Lake Inman, but instead at Kingman State Lake, which is about 60 miles away. And in this area, sightings of some massive water snake had been reported periodically since the early 1900s. So is that snake Sinkhole Sam, traveling from lake to lake through some underground water system? Or was Sinkhole Sam just one of several endlings of some lost ancient species? If it is, I'm pretty sure their original name was not Foopengurkles. Today, no one knows for sure if Sinkhole Sam is still alive, or if he ever really was. But if he is real, and if he is still alive, there's no need to worry, because Sinkhole Sam is not dangerous to humans. The most he's gonna do is a hiss and a splash and go about minding his business. Have any of y'all ever sighted anything that looks even remotely like Sinkhole Sam in Kansas? Let me know.
No. I'm stuck on Foopengurkle. I couldn't get over it, and I tried to search it, and the only thing that comes up is Sinkhole Sam stuff, or cryptid pages. I can't find a definition. Let me just go, what if I just go to dictionary.com or something? Foopengurkle. No results. Yeah, I spelled it right. Wow. Not even in the dictionary. That's wild. I don't know if I've ever seen a word that's been around for at least 100 years. It's not in the dictionary. They've got like swag in the dictionary and bling bling. You would think they would have Foopengurkle. But that's crazy. Sinkhole Sam. That would be horrifying. Yeah, I've actually been to Kingman Lake, and I don't recall seeing a giant snake-like, eel-like creature or whatever. Obviously, if I had, you guys would have known about that a long time ago. But yeah, anybody in Kansas, if you're out there, you ever seen anything weird in the lakes out there? Particularly Kingman or the sinkhole? And once again, another one that kind of falls into the same category, almost like a cousin to the Loch Ness Monster or something, you know? Strange. I do kind of want to, when I'm done doing this series, I think I'm going to go through and like make a, I don't know, some kind of graph about like how these are all kind of in 3 broad categories. They're all either like some kind of like water monster or giant snake type of thing in the water, or a Bigfoot, like a giant ape-like creature, or a giant dog-like creature. I guess the Hawaii one, those were a little different. Those are just little Hawaiian guys running around building stuff. Anyway, bring back that damn wheel. Come on, Wilbur. What you got for me? Wyoming. All right. Before we talk about the Wyoming cryptid, I will preface this that this is not a terrifying cryptid at all. This is actually one of the most adorable cryptids on the list, probably, if not the most. I am, of course, talking about the Wyoming jackalope. Obviously, how cute is that? Yeah, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe the antlers on that particular bunny are photoshopped. But, you know, we're gonna talk about the jackalope, and I also wanted to say that the Shunka waterkin are also known to be in Wyoming, but I think to avoid overlap, they went with the jackalope for Wyoming, so it's adorable. The jackalope is a mythical creature, often depicted as a rabbit with antlers, said to inhabit the western U.S., specifically Wyoming. Known for its speed and ability to mimic human voices, it's more of a folklore creature than a true cryptid. And that's just what they want you to think, man. Its speed and elusive nature make it difficult to capture. But fear not, the jackalope is more of a prankster than a threat, so there's really no need to fear it. Like I said, adorable. If you spot a jackalope, enjoy the sight. There's no danger, and it's more of a local legend than a cryptid with real-world impact. Again, that's what they want you to think. These dudes are out there, man, and I want one. I'm gonna have a jackalope as a pet someday. When I have Mr. Beast money, I'm gonna have one of these as a pet. Or if you're quick enough, you could try to ride one like this lady. And of course, TikTok has a supposed jackalope encounter, so let's check it out. AI voice included, obviously.
A jackalope was recently encountered outside of Douglas, Wyoming by a group of campers hiking near the Ayers Natural Bridge one night. The hikers were enjoying the Wyoming wilderness, when suddenly a rustle in the bushes, they freeze. A pair of antlers peeks out, but this isn't an antelope, it's a rabbit, the mythical jackalope. Sporting the body of a rabbit but with the antlers of an antelope, sharp fangs and red eyes. Being avid cryptozoologists, the group jumped back, knowing the danger of the jackalope. Innocent looking enough, past encounters with the jackalope having ended in tragedy to unsuspecting hikers. The group made a desperate plan to escape. They knew they must reach their campsite before the creature could catch up. They raced up the treacherous moonlit path across the Ayers Natural Bridge, the jackalope's twisted calls echoing behind them. Breathless and terrified, the campers jumped into their cars as the jackalope emerging from the woods, its silhouette menacing in the car's headlights. The hikers notified a local cryptozoological institution, but it was never spotted again.
Well, that goes against everything we just learned about jackalopes. They're adorable and cuddly. What are you talking about, AI voice? Get out of here. I don't believe anything you just said, sir. But respect to AI, I don't want any problems with you. I appreciate and respect our future overlords. Some alleged video evidence of a jackalope. Looks like a little llama. Well, it was a fun song, at least. Might have to remove it, actually, so you guys probably won't hear the song. Yeah, it looked like a rabbit to me. Big ol' ear rabbit. Big ear rabbit. Yeah, I don't know, man, maybe the jackalope doesn't exist, but science is getting better every day, right? Just kidding, don't do that, science. We don't need rabbits with horns.
Let's talk about the cutest cryptid out there. The jackalope.
Yeah.
The jackalope is described as a jackrabbit with antelope horns and is believed to live in North America, specifically around Wyoming. The jackalope is technically a cryptid you can see, as taxidermied jackalopes are a very popular decoration and attraction in Wyoming, displayed in places like bars and hotels. Taxidermy jackalopes were made popular in 1930.
Sorry, I'm cutting out your face, Dad friend.
Hunters and taxidermists made the first
odd TikTok name.
Jackalope. From then, they became a very important part of Wyoming folklore. Some hunters have said that they even need to wear special leg protection in case a jackalope charges at them and tries to hit them with their horns. And while for centuries we've had tales of creatures with strange horns, the jackalope's origin can be traced. Rabbits suffering with a disease called SPV are believed to be the origin of jackalope, since the disease causes them to grow horn-like growths out of their face and body. So while jackalopes may not be real, they're a huge part of popular culture, and a few years ago in Wyoming, a bill was nearly passed to make them Wyoming's official mythological animal.
Hey, thanks, dad ___ friend on TikTok. It was a good video. Yeah, so I know, of course, yes, they're probably just folklore, but super interesting. And yeah, if we ever find out they are real, I want one. So, where's my wheel? There it is. What you got for me, Will Ferrell? Georgia, Florida. Just kidding. It's Florida. All right. Well, it's probably Florida Man, right? It's got to be Florida Man. It's probably the most terrifying cryptid in Florida. Florida has the Skunk Ape. He about to get that canoe boy. I have a feeling this dude stinks. They call him Skunk. I already assume all the Bigfoot guys stink because, you know, they ain't got baths. They don't got showers. They got to bathe in, like, swamps and stuff. There's no way they smell good. But you're going to call the dude Skunk Ape? He's got to smell extra pungent. The Skunk Ape is Florida's version of Bigfoot, but with a strong, foul odor that gives it its name. Called it! It's said to live in the swamps and the Everglades. Bro, looks like he is growing some Everglades. Straight off of his body, look at him. He is swamp. What do you mean he lives in the swamp? Its strengths are that the creature is extremely fast and able to navigate dense swamp environments with ease. But don't worry, the Skunk Ape seems to avoid human contact whenever possible. If you're in Florida, out in the wilderness, and you smell an unbearable stench and start hearing strange noises, it's best to leave the area quickly and quietly. Here we have some alleged footage, for the first time I think in this series, of a Florida skunk ape, or one of the cryptids, so let's check it out.
This is new video footage of an alleged Florida skunk ape. Looks convincing, but you be the judge.
Right up there, I see him. What's he doing? I'm not covering it up, am I? Sorry, I'm getting close to my screen, my bad.
Ever heard of the skunk ape? This creature is on par with Bigfoot, except it is extremely stinky and very shrouded in mystery. It has sparked legends and sightings across the swamps of the southeastern United States. Meet the skunk ape. This elusive giant, often described as a pungent, hairy beast standing over 7 feet tall, prowls the dense forests and murky wetlands of Florida and the surrounding states. Named for its distinctive, overpowering odor, reminiscent of a skunk mixed with wet dog, the skunk ape is a cousin of the infamous Bigfoot, with reported sightings dating back to the 1960s. Witnesses claim to have glimpsed this shadowy figure moving with surprising agility through the thick underbrush, leaving behind massive footprints and a trail of stench. Despite its infamy, the skunk ape remains an enigma, with evidence largely consisting of blurry photographs, dubious footprints, and eyewitness accounts. Yet, the allure of this swamp-dwelling giant continues to captivate the imagination of cryptozoologists and thrill-seekers alike, keeping the legend alive in the murky depths of Florida's wildlands.
The skunk ape of Florida. There you have it, guys. Yeah, I think I did have somebody in the comments say that they have an experience with the skunk ape, and I haven't had time to get back and reply to comments yet. I will this week, but if you're watching again, please let me know in the comments of this one. I would love to hear about it. Or you can email me, GeminiJohnny369@gmail.com. If you feel like writing it all out in detail or whatever. But yeah, if you want to let me know in the comments, that'd be awesome. Anyway, Florida skunk ape, just like all the other Bigfoots, pretty elusive. Like Mitch Hedberg says, maybe Bigfoot's out there just running around fuzzy. We're not getting fuzzy pictures. He is fuzzy. He's out of focus. But I do notice, one thing I've noticed with all these Bigfoot creatures is they're all noted to be able to move through swamps and woods and dense forest really, like, with ease, is one thing that they tend to point out. And it kind of goes back to my theory that Bigfoot is interdimensional. I think Bigfoot might be an alien. It's probably like some alien race. It goes back to my theory that the universe is much closer to Star Wars than it is written history. We'll go with that. Give me my wheel! Give me something good, Willy Bo Silly. Rhode Island. All right, Rhode Island it is. Ooh, I would have sounded way more excited if I remembered what Rhode Island's was, because it's more of a mystery, and it's a true story. We know it's a true story, actually. But Mercy Brown, vampire, Mercy Brown, to be exact, believe in vampires, Rhode Islanders who are sure that they do exist. Instances told of where the living have been attacked and preyed upon by these representatives of an unseen world. So sinister. 1800s papers getting dark. I like it. So this poor lady is Mercy Brown. And, you know, you may not be able to tell by the picture, but she died at 19 years old of tuberculosis. About 7-8 years after her mom. And after she died, her brother also died. And it didn't take much time for the people in her town to start accusing her of being an undead vampire. And that's the reason that her brother died. Fun fact, in the latter part of the 1800s, tuberculosis was running rampant and destroying communities and families and killing people left and right. They called it consumption, which I don't really know where they got it from, but yeah, now we know it's tuberculosis and we know a lot more about it. But back then they called it consumption, and yeah, it was decimating communities. And highly contagious. It was basically a death sentence until like 1906 when they finally came up with a cure for it. So yeah, shout out to Albert Calmet and Camille Guerin for the first genuine success in immunization against tuberculosis in 1906. It should also be noted that there was a guy, Robert Koch, or Koch, K-O-C-H, announced the glycerin extract of the tubercle bacilli as a remedy for tuberculosis in 1890, and he called it tuberculin. It was not effective, but it was later successfully adapted as a screening test for the presence of pre-symptomatic tuberculosis. And World Tuberculosis is marked on March 24th each year, an anniversary of his original scientific announcement. So that's kind of cool. Shout out to him, because I'm sure that helped save a lot of lives too. Anyway, let's talk about this legend or whatever. Mercy Brown was a real person whose body was exhumed in the late 1800s in Rhode Island after her family believed she had turned into a vampire. Her legend persists as a symbol of vampire folklore in the area. As a vampire, Mercy Brown is said to have the ability to rise from the grave and spread disease to the living. Like traditional vampires, she would be vulnerable to sunlight, holy symbols, and staking through the heart. While Mercy Brown is a part of folklore, if you're into vampire lore, keeping garlic and silver on hand wouldn't hurt. Bring us home, TikTok.
I think the most disturbing part of Mercy Brown's story is that after her body was exhumed, her heart was cremated, and then her ashes were consumed by her brother. Mercy died from consumption in 1892 at the age of 19. Her mother and sister also died from consumption years prior, but when her brother caught the same illness, it triggered a vampire panic in the community. It was widely believed that the Brown family was cursed, so they exhumed Mercy's body as well as her mother's and sister's body, and Mercy's body was remarkably well preserved. Now, this was only 2 months after Mercy had passed, but as the story goes, they removed her heart and liver and cremated it, then fed it to Edwin in desperation to cure his consumption symptoms. Edwin died a few months later.
Ew, I didn't read that part, but and I don't know why she would make that up.
The story of Mercy Brown is one of America's most famous vampire legends. In the late 19th century, the Brown family of Exeter, Rhode Island, suffered a series of tuberculosis outbreaks. After the deaths of several family members, including Mercy, local superstition led to the belief that Mercy was a vampire who was rising from the grave to sicken her surviving relative. In 1892, Mercy's body was exhumed, and it was found to be unusually well preserved. This led villagers to believe she was indeed a vampire. Her heart was removed and burned, and the ashes were mixed into a potion given to her sick brother to cure him of the illness. The legend of Mercy Brown has fascinated people for generations, often cited as one of the last instances of vampire exhumation in New England, and it highlights the intersection of folklore and medical misunderstanding during that era.
I just want to know why why would they think that she would want to come back and kill the rest of her family? Don't you think she would be sad that she died of this awful disease and she wouldn't wish that upon her family? And then, why did they think consuming a potion with his ashes was going to do anything? It's so wild. I mean, I get it, like, they use pieces of sicknesses to make you immune to them on a larger scale, so maybe that was their line of thinking, but like, ugh. If I was that dude, if I was the brother, I'd have been like, just let me die. I don't want to drink my sister. That's gross. But yeah, I thought this was a really interesting story, and I might do a longer video on this someday. So, if that's something you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. For now, give me my wheel. Come on, Wilson. Wilson! Wilson! Missouri. All right, Missouri. What do we got? In Missouri, we have Momo, the Missouri Monster. Just to be clear, not to be confused with this creepy bitch, it's Momo the Missouri Monster, not Momo the horror from my nightmares. Momo is a Bigfoot-like creature covered in dark hair with glowing red eyes and is said to emit a terrible stench. Another stinky glowing red eye thing. Sightings have mostly been around Louisiana, Missouri, and it's often linked to the Mississippi River. But for this video, it's Missouri. Momo is strong and incredibly fast, able to cover rough terrain with ease. Yet another one of these dudes that can do this. Like many Bigfoot type creatures, Momo avoids human interaction and prefers to stay hidden in remote areas. Also, whoever made this Momo, those are glowing yellow eyes. Those eyes aren't red. Just thought I'd point that out. This is a recreation of Momo by the cryptozoologist. Apparently. I didn't know there was like a single one. I thought there was a bunch of those guys. But at least, hey, we know that that's a recreation because they put it on this picture. So that's good. Because I would have been like, that's very obviously somebody in a suit. If you see or smell Momo, move away quietly and quickly. It's not known to be aggressive, but its size alone can be intimidating. Yeah, he's got a big head, some big hands. Get his paws on you, it might not feel good. Another one that they made a movie about, Momo the Missouri Monster. There's something on Marzoff Hill. Another one I haven't seen, probably won't see. If you have, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know in the comments. Take it away, TikTok.
Momo the Monster, also called the Missouri Monster or Momo, is said to be a big, hairy creature like Bigfoot. People claim to have seen it in the countryside near Louisiana, Missouri in 1971 and 1972. Alleged witnesses describe the creature as a large bipedal humanoid with a pumpkin-sized head, about 7 feet tall, covered in dark hair that emits a putrid odor. The most well-known alleged sighting occurred on July 11, 1972, when 2 young boys were playing in the backyard on the rural outskirts of Louisiana, Missouri. Their older sister Doris was in the kitchen when she heard her brothers screaming. When she looked out of the window, she observed a massive, dark-haired, man-like creature holding what appeared to be a deceased dog. She described it as having a pumpkin-shaped head and large, glowing orange eyes.
Orange eyes? I don't know. Anybody out there seen Momo? What color was this thing's eyes?
Missouri. This is Momo the Monster, also known as the Missouri Monster. Eyewitnesses describe it as an ape-like creature that's about 7 feet tall and it has long dark hair that is extremely smelly. The most famous sighting of Momo occurred in 1972 when 2 young boys were playing in their backyard and their sister heard them screaming. When she looked out the window to where they were playing, she saw a massive dark-haired, man-like creature holding a
pretty much the
dead
same
dog.
story we
And
just
she said
heard.
it had a pumpkin-shaped head and glowing dark eyes. Has anyone from Missouri seen him? Let me know in the comments.
One of the top comments is, I've lived in Missouri all my life and I've never heard of that. So, I don't know. Apparently this is famous in other places and not in... But there you go. It's the freaking Missouri Monster. Also, it's really hard to find anything on the Missouri Monster because everything just pops up with stupid Momo. Ugh. Look at her. She wants to eat my soul, starting with my face. Don't like it. Give me the wheel. I like that better. Alright, hit me, Willionaire. Ba-da-boop, ba-da-boop, ba-da-boop. Idaho. No, Idaho. Ida Tarbell. No, Uda Tarbell. I wonder if that guy watches my videos. Don't worry about it. Idaho's freaking sick, dude. They got a dang water dragon. Sharlie. She looks like a good time. Although, I don't really mess with deep water, so I'm probably never going to meet her. Sharlie, also known as the Slimy Slim. Sharlie is a massive snake-like creature said to inhabit Payette Lake in Idaho. Description vary, but it's often compared to lake monsters like Nessie. Surprise, surprise. Another one that falls into a category like 90% of the rest of these. I know this looks like it would be at a Chinese New Year's festival or something, but I believe it is actually in Idaho. They do kind of play into this one as well in the community, so that's pretty cool. Sharlie is fast and agile in water, capable of disappearing beneath the surface in an instant. The only weaknesses, although there are no known aggressive behaviors reported, it tends to stay deep in the lake far from human interaction, but its size, once again, can be intimidating. Another dragon festival type of picture. If you encounter Sharlie while boating or swimming in Payette Lake and see something unusual in the water, it's best to get to shore quickly, just to be safe.
Idaho, known for its potatoes and vast landscapes, harbors more than just agricultural bounty and scenic vistas. Deep within the waters of Payette Lake lurks a creature of legend, Sharlie, the local cryptid that has spooked generations of residents. Because naturally, every serene lake needs its own mysterious inhabitant. Sharlie, also dubbed the Payette Lake Monster, first startled fishermen in 1920 when it was sighted gliding ominously through the water. Descriptions liken it to a colossal serpent, evoking images of a primordial creature or a disgruntled disgruntled eel. The monster's appearances over the years have varied, with witnesses reporting humps, long tails, and even dragon-like heads emerging from the lake's depths. In 1944, reports intensified as multiple witnesses, including the local postmaster, recounted sightings of a dark, sinister figure spanning 30 to 35 feet. Despite its ominous reputation, some locals in the 1950s affectionately dubbed the creature Slimy Slim, injecting a touch of whimsy into the folklore. Legends of Sharlie continued to grow with each passing decade, bolstered by tales of massive ripples left in its wake and exaggerated fishermen's tales of lost catches. The Peterson family's encounter in the 1980s added to the lore as they watched in disbelief as the creature's humps sliced through the water before vanishing into the lake depth. Despite the fear it inspires, Sharlie has become a beloved figure in McCall, near Payette Lake, where it serves as an unofficial mascot. The town celebrates its resident cryptid with festivals, merchandise, and even businesses named in its honor. Embracing Sharlie has not only perpetuated the legend, but also boosted tourism, proving that even tales of lake monsters can contribute to local charm and economy. So, next time you're enjoying Idaho's scenic beauty, remember that beneath the tranquil waters of Payette Lake, Sharlie may be lurking. Like and follow for more.
I will say this is the first time I've ever been compelled to go to Idaho, so it probably is good for their tourism. That's Sharlie. He's a freaking water dragon, dude, I'm telling you. They got water dragons. They're out there somewhere.
Sharlie. The legend of Sharlie, a lake monster in McCall, Idaho, has been circulating for decades. Eyewitnesses describe it as a 30 to 35 feet long creature with a reptilian head, hard skin, humps, pronounced jaw, and long tail. In 1920, workers first mistook Sharlie for a log, but quickly realized it was a monster that undulated and quickly left the area. Despite skepticism, locals are convinced that Sharlie exists, with dozens of sightings reported between 1946 and 2002.
That thing's ugly, ain't it? These could all just be leftover dinosaurs, too. I mean, we think dinosaurs went extinct, but what if a lot of the ones in the water survived and they've just been out in the ocean? I forget what the actual number is, but it's something like only 5% of the ocean has been explored or something. That's crazy. And when people do build submarines and try to go exploring in the ocean, they freaking implode. I think I'd rather be in space than under the ocean, assuming I have a spacesuit. But I guess if I have a spacesuit, I'd probably be alright under the ocean, too. Alright, now where the heck did I put that wheel? I'm just kidding, it's in the computer. No willies, no willies, no willies. Stop. Another N. Oh, Mississippi. M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. You guys remember that song? No? Alright, this is a good one. I like this one. I think you guys are gonna like the Pascagoula River aliens. These extraterrestrial beings were reportedly encountered by two men near the Pascagoula River in Mississippi in 1973. The aliens were described as humanoid with robotic features, including claw-like hands and smooth fish-like skin. Their strengths are their advanced technology, and their ability to paralyze their victims with simply a touch make them extremely dangerous. Their weaknesses, despite their intimidating appearance, they seem to be more interested in observation than harm. Side note, as with a lot of aliens, I just want to point out, if you come across beings similar to the Pascagoula River aliens, remain calm and avoid physical contact. If paralyzed, focus on breathing slowly as they appear to release their hold fairly quickly, which them releasing the hold quickly doesn't exactly make me feel better, not gonna lie. Alright, so this is Charles Hickson, one of the two men who saw the Pascagoula River aliens while they were fishing.
On the other side of the pier with their feet, you know, over toward the river, fishing in the river. And the fish still wasn't biting, so I told Calvin, I said, well, you know, we might as well go home. But I guess that was when I heard it. It was some kind of zipping sound. And when I turned around in this area out here, but 40 or 50 feet out there, there was some kind of craft, you know. It looked like it's going to come right onto the ground. But it came on down and hovered about a foot and a half or 2 feet off of the ground. But we didn't know what to do, you know. The river behind us and that out there not knowing what it was. So, and then before we had time to really do anything, it seemed like an opening appeared. And toward the end, it was, you know, toward us. And the blue light, it had blue flashing lights as it was, you know, approaching the ground, but then they went out. And when the opening appeared, some source of light came from the inside. It was just almost blinding.
Sheriff Diamond, can you tell me just what happened that night?
No, sir, I can't. All I can tell you is it was two men came in the sheriff's department approximately 8:30 and 9 o'clock. They were all excited and upset, wanting to climb the walls, hysterical, crying. That's actually all I know is what happened. As far as me seeing what happened, I don't know.
of course, we could see them in the opening coming from, you know, when they started out to craft. But
you think it was people coming out at first?
Well, they had. Well, I kind of thought it was people at first, you know, off like that. But of course, when they appeared there in front of me, it was the most shock I've ever had in my life.
What did you see?
Well, they were shorter than me. I'd say about 5'2" or 3", and they didn't have a neck. Their head, it seemed to come directly to their shoulders, and it had something that came out to a point about where a nose would be, and on each side the ears. And I believe that they looked like they were a little longer on the ears than the nose.
But still pointed.
They were still pointing, yes.
But since I was down there, and since I was a physician, and several other scientists and investigators were asked to consult and look into the situation, I was asked if would I mind if I would be present, and I said I wouldn't mind at all. And while it is still very difficult for us to believe that a spaceship landed and that robot-type creatures came out and actually took these two people into the spaceship, these men, in my opinion, believe that they saw this, and that they were being honest in reporting what they have reported.
But it seemed to me when they came out that doorway, or that opening, or whatever it was, then just almost instantly they were right there on us. And their arms, they had arms, and I saw the arms moving here and in the shoulders, but they had weld. I mean, their fingers were webbed, and then they had something like a thumb, and they were like this.
Mm-hmm. We questioned them at length, and then we left the room and recorded every all the conversation they had. Recorded between the two.
I remember that picture.
And one of them kept wanting to pray. And he said, after all I went through on this earth, I said, why should I have to see something like this?
Ooh, alright, so I realize that one's a little less of a cryptid, a little more of an alien sighting, but what do you guys think? You guys think those guys saw that stuff? Charles Hickson doesn't seem like a dude that would just make up a story like that. And, you know, I know we didn't really hear from the other guy, but, man, how weird. And this is 1973, October 11th, 1973. And back then, nobody took this kind of stuff seriously. They just thought you were a crazy person. These guys, you know, came out with it. I wonder how many people saw stuff back then and just never told anybody because they didn't want to be labeled as crazy. I'm sure it still happens, actually. So what do you guys think about the Pascagoula River aliens? You think that was a alien sighting? You think they got some aliens running around in Mississippi down there? Anyway, give me my wheel. All right, we got 2 left today. Let's see what Wilmer Valderrama has in store for us now. I'll do a drum roll sound there. Iowa. Idaho and Iowa. Those are like the same state to me, but we're doing them both today. This one's kind of cool and a little bit different. The Iowa Van Meter Monster. Another freaking dragon. You have to start calling me Johnny Targaryen because this house of the freaking dragons in here. The Iowa Van Meter Monster is a winged bat-like creature with a glowing horn on its head. Reported in Van Meter, Iowa in the early 1900s. It has a glowing horn instead of glowing eyes. That's cool. It's said to have an eerie, almost supernatural presence. The Van Meter monster's strengths are its wings, obviously, giving it the ability to fly at great speeds, and its glowing horn can reportedly blind its victims. Strange ability to be able to do that. Its weaknesses appear to be daylight, as the creature only appears at night. Should you encounter the Van Meter monster at night, seek shelter indoors. Its eerie glow and flight make it a formidable opponent if startled. And you know TikTok has things to say about it.
Have you heard of the Van Meter visitor? Is rumored to exist in Van Meter, Iowa. It was said to be 9 feet tall when standing on its hind legs, had large bat-like wings, and its head resembled a vulture or pterosaur skull. It also allegedly shot lasers out of its horn. In 1903, the town of Van Meter was reportedly terrorized by this creature, which was said to kill livestock, as well as cause power outages and other strange occurrences. Could it have just been a large bird or bat, or something out of a fantasy or sci-fi movie?
Definitely sounds like a dragon.
This is Van Meter, Iowa. In the fall of 1903, the small mining town experienced a truly bizarre event. For 1 week, each night at around 1 in the morning, citizens encountered an unusual creature. It was essentially a strange alien combination of a bat, parrot, skunk, kangaroo, and anglerfish, later dubbed as the Van Meter visitor.
I don't know, if I get blinded by a giant bat skunk hybrid dragon thing and its stupid glowing horn, I think I deserved it. What do you guys think about the Van Meter visitor? Just a figment of all these people's imagination, or are they really seeing some creepy flying glowing horned weirdo out there in the early 1900s? If you're in Iowa, let me know. Have you ever seen something like this? Have you ever heard about this stupid thing? Not stupid, it's scary. All right, bring back Willie Nelson. Last but not least for today. We've got Massachusetts. If you didn't know him before, get ready to meet the Massachusetts own, the Dover Demon. Possibly another alien. Let's be real. Look at this guy. The Dover Demon is a small, thin, humanoid creature spotted in Dover, Massachusetts in the 1970s. It has a large watermelon-shaped head, glowing orange eyes, and long, spindly fingers. Its strengths are that it is incredibly quick and agile, able to disappear into the woods in an instant. No weaknesses are known, but the creature does appear to be non-aggressive and avoids human interaction, as with most aliens. If you do happen to see a Dover Demon, remain calm and observe from a distance. It's much more likely to flee than it is to attack. And you know TikTok's got us covered. Let's go.
The Dover Demon is a cryptid reported to have been sighted in Dover, Massachusetts in April 1977. Over the course of 2 nights, 3 teenagers encountered a creature unlike anything they had ever seen. The first sighting occurred on April 21st, when 17-year-old Bill Bartlett was driving with friends. He described a creature with large glowing eyes, a watermelon-shaped head, and long, thin limbs. The creature was hairless, with rough, peach-colored skin, and stood around 4 feet tall. Later that same night, 15-year-old John Baxter saw a similar figure while walking home. He observed the creature standing near a tree before it fled into a gully. The following evening, another teenager also reported seeing a similar creature on a bridge. These consistent descriptions from independent witnesses sparked significant interest and debate. However, a lot of people consider the Dover Demon a genuine cryptid, akin to the Chupacabra or Mothman. The mystery of the Dover Demon remains, capturing the imaginations of cryptozoologists and paranormal enthusiasts alike.
Dang, I thought that was a real sign that was up in Massachusetts somewhere, but then you read all of that. Dover, Dexter, Chillicothe, Asla Delta, Eid, Rala. That's AI words, so dang. I mean, I knew all those other pictures were AI, obviously, but it'd be cool if that was a real sign. Man, Dover Demons sound creepy. That was Qualia.labs on TikTok. If you're interested in seeing more of their work, more of their content, you can go check them out.
The Dover Demon is a cryptid associated with a series of reported sightings that occurred over 2 days in Dover, Massachusetts in April 1977. The creature is described as having a large watermelon-shaped head, glowing orange eyes, long, thin fingers, and a hairless peach-colored body. The first sighting took place on April 21, 1977, when 3 teenagers reported encountering the creature while driving along Farm Street. They claimed to have seen a small, humanoid figure with glowing eyes standing near a wall. Later that same night, another teenager reported seeing a similar creature while walking home from his girlfriend's house. On the following night, April 22, 1977, a different group of teenagers reported seeing a similar creature in the same area. They described it as having a similar appearance to the creature seen the previous night. These reported sightings of the Dover Demon generated significant media attention and sparked curiosity and speculation among locals and cryptozoologists. Despite extensive searches of the area, no physical evidence of the creature was found, and no further sightings have been reported since the original incidents in 1977.
So once again, I think we have a cryptid that could very well just be an alien or some kind of interdimensional being. 'Cause I can't imagine somebody seeing that and thinking it was, or seeing an animal and describing it as that. You know, I can't imagine an animal that would look like that for any reason, especially a bipedal animal. Yet another creature that can traverse through thick woods seemingly instantly. I'm telling you, man, I think these things, there's something about their density. I don't think they're the same density as us. I think they can walk through walls, and at least this kind. I don't know. Maybe not Bigfoots, but I think this guy. Like, because that looks like an alien to me. Looks like it's probably some race of alien we don't know about yet. Or maybe we do, and you and I don't yet. There is a book out there, total side tangent, but there is a book out there of allegedly all the alien races that are known to the US government. So might be something we have to talk about in the future. There you have it, folks. That is part 2 of the most terrifying cryptid from every state. If you missed part 1, I will link that on the screen now, and you can go check that out now. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Part 3 will be posted in the coming days as soon as I can get it finished. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. Also, TikToktober is next week. If you weren't around last year, it was the series that started it all for my channel, and it was where I did a 31-day challenge and posted a video every single day for October. So I'll be doing that again. It's going to be a lot of work, so I'd appreciate if you could tune in whenever you can. Every single day in October at 4:15 p.m. PST. Merch shop is live, it's down there, you guys see it, you know how that works. I don't really mention it in videos very often, but there's also a bunch of links in my description, and if you click any of those, I will get a small commission. So if you see anything you're interested in, that is another way to support the channel. Aside from that, you can join me over on Patreon. That's the link at the top of the description. Come say hi. I am finishing up that Patreon exclusive video, and I've been talking about it for weeks, but I'm gonna finish it this week. Alright, that's enough rambling. Thank you for tuning in. I love you, I appreciate you, so until next time, stay creepy.